Hello, and welcome back to the Sanctuary of She podcast. I'm not going to lie, I have been beyond excited to sit down and record this, but there's so many layers to it that I have been in real time allowing myself come to a very anchored place to portray this in the level that I know it gets to land for you. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the safety that can be found in your power, the safety that can be found in your expansion. This is such a huge part of the conversation because typically when we think about our power, our expansion, our up-leveling, our growth, we're speaking into unknown. And there's, yes, of course, the fear of what if it doesn't work, but also even more, a lot of the time it's the fear of what if it does, right? The famous quote that we love, Marianne Williamson, our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness. So when we're leaning into this, I want you to think about the last time you really put yourself out there. The last time that you really allowed yourself to move, take a big risk, show up in your full creation, show up in your full expression, be your silly self, aka being in a place of forward moving motion in a public manner where you weren't calculating, you weren't overthinking, you were just being. Your cup was so full that you were just being. And I want you to think about how much time it usually takes after we do that to slowly come into a contracted place that feels very vulnerable, that sometimes shame or doubt can exist within. This is so huge because if you experience this, you're not alone at all. This is one of the biggest parts about getting comfortable with our growth, our power, our expansion that is required of us. But it's really sticky because that contractive place on the other side of it feels it's fueling all of our insecurities, and it makes us question our own expression. It makes us feel like an imposter in our own power. So why is this? Why does this happen? This is what I want to talk to you about today. We live lives, especially if you're in this Sanctuary of She community, through the podcast, through the community membership that we have. If you're in this space, you value evolution, you value expansion because you're not here to sit in stagnancy in a comfortable comfort zone. You're here to experience magic, limitlessness, potentiality, and possibility beyond means. You're here because when you sit and you anchor into the what if it does work energy, that feeling alone makes you feel more yourself than any other possible thing. And you know that if you create a life in the day-to-day to stay focused on that and living from that place, that is the essence of being alive. That is the truest essence of the human experience. So if you're here, you value that. We are so alike in that way. And at the same time, we have our lives gone about things in a way of putting ourselves out there, but from a comfort zone place. Putting ourselves out there, but keeping parts of ourselves sheltered in case of failure. In case we jump too soon and it doesn't work out, we protect ourselves from disappointment. And so in those moments where you do have fun and you do get excited and you put yourself out there, we can immediately feel the shame on the other end, the imposter on the other end. But is that because it's truth, actually your identity, or is it not? I want to reframe something for you in this. Our identity that lies in that contractive place is not you. It's not your truth. What is it? It is your ego. This is the ego. What does the ego do? The ego tries to keep us safe. The ego tries to protect us. The ego keeps us in the confines so that we can feel the most comfortable. But we have gotten so accustomed with living in alignment with this ego and the comfort zone it provides, caring about what other people think and projecting our own thoughts and creating narratives about what people think that aren't even true. This is the job of the ego. This is the home of the ego. And we have spent so long, decades of our lives, attuning ourselves to fit and be connected in the strongest way with the ego, that when we break out of that and we actually have moments of full free-flowing vitality through us and we're operating from that place, we immediately shut down and we say that that's the wrong thing. That's not us. Who was that version of me that just came in? It's not that. What if it's the other way around? We can see the ego for what it's done for us, see it for what it is. But what if we can actually find safety in the other version of ourselves? Open enough to let vitality and life force energy flow through you is the key to everything you seek. Manifestation is not an outside game, it's an internal game. We have to change what's going on inside to get a different reflection outside. We move first, then the universe moves, not the other way around. So much of the time we're sitting here, we're looking at the world and we're saying, okay, please show me the evidence before I proceed. Or I'm going to sit here and ask for what I want and then continue to wonder why it's not there when we are closed up inside. Because we're sitting in the home of the ego. 72,000 energy channels in our body. And the smallest triggers, from a color or a smell or a song, to the biggest things, like an argument with someone that you love that's been compounding for years on end, they have the ability to close up these centers inside of us. And so we sit here and we have our desires, and we're speaking our prayers, and we're writing in our journals, and we're trying to align and attune ourselves with the version of us who's doing those things, who's receiving those things, but we're closed. You turn on your favorite song and you shake your body out and you dance, or you are around your best friends, or you are experiencing something incredible in your business and you're so lit up that you create from that place. Is it that on the other side of that we close back up? It's because we think that's our identity. But that's not it. That is the ego. And the ego is the only piece of you that cares about perfection, that cares about those projections. The fully expanded version of you is the open version of you. Life force is flowing through. Your channel is completely open. The give and receive energies are flowing through you. You are pouring out. You are receiving in huge layers and creating from that place. Repetition in the messy middle from that place is what actually aligns you to the expansion that you seek. What am I saying in all of this? I'm talking about the importance of having fun on your journey again. Manifestation work, this vision casting work, this goal setting work, this energetics work in the day-to-day. Sometimes we get so narrow vision in it that our desires and the things that we're calling in through this work, are they actually coming from overflow? Or are they actually speaking and directly relating to certain needs or shoulds that are going on inside? And we need the validation of these things to give us permission to keep going, the evidence to keep going. Because that's not how it works. This work is not supposed to be heavy. This work is the most amplifying work of all. Energetics work is the most important work we can do. A, because it's 95% of our results. But B, because when you are doing energetics work the right way, manifestation is not a future game. Manifestation is a present game that takes place in the presence, one day at a time. The portal to it all is today. We have a training in the community called the Portal to It All is Today that breaks open the quantum mechanics of truly the power of one day at a time, one moment at a time, the portal of presence itself. Power of this is that energetics, they don't just benefit what's coming and what's immediately on its way when you align yourself differently. It's what you put out, you attract. But it's a game in the now. It improves your quality of life in the now. Every day compounding on itself with more and more love, beauty, joy, abundance, success, connection, there at our fingertips. When we stop blocking ourselves from it through the ego and instead allow ourselves to stay open and trusting that free flow of our most authentic expression in the moment without the perfectionist coming in, without the overthinker coming in, without the fearing what other people think coming in. And live from this place. This is purpose. Being able to live day to day as an energetic match, not trying to figure out how to tap into it, but by not disallowing ourselves from experiencing our free-flowing vitality in the day-to-day. Who are you when this work gets to be so much fun again? Who are you when you're not doing this to fulfill or validate a need inside, but rather playing the game of life from a place of overflow, manifesting abundance on abundance, not manifesting abundance on scarcity? This changes the whole game. One of the reasons that the imposter can come in a lot of the time is that for a lot of us, this isn't our natural state. Even though it's our birthright and it is your natural state, anything that's not letting you feel it is your own things blocking it. But we have not been living this way and in alignment with the power of this for the majority of our lives. And so when we talk about tapping into it, or you're online, you're scrolling, and you're seeing other people tap into it, it's something that you're trying to do. Like, okay, I need to tap into fun. So let me figure out how to tap into fun. Let me portray myself tapping into fun. That's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. This isn't another thing that you are trying to decode or figure out. This is an allowing of yourself having fun with the process again. How do we do that? We tune into excitement and curiosity, not expectation and attachment. You hear that? Excitement and curiosity, not expectation and attachment. Expectation and attachment are the two things that are going to keep you in the mental cage, constantly manifesting from scarcity. But if you can be excited about what's moving and curious to how it's going to come through, all of a sudden you're playing a different game. All of a sudden, you're back manifesting abundance on abundance. How do you tap into this? How do you tap into this vitality and let the process be light and easy? You must align your energetics to be living internal to external, not external to internal. So much of the world is living external to internal. I have a certain desire, so let me look outside of myself to see all the things that appear to be tapping into that, and then let me try to adapt or adopt different things that seem to be working for other people and try them on for myself. That's not alignment. That is trying to mirror someone else's aligned strategy without asking if it's yours first. So living internal to external means you throw away all the strategies at first. It means you clear the slate completely of all the things that you think you need to be doing. And you allow yourself to just get so deep into presence with yourself without the noise, without the shoulds, without the needs. One moment at a time, you can start to see things as they really are. Again, not as you are. You can start to see the beauty and the love and the joy and the success and the abundance and the connection that's already here. Blocking ourselves from it, we realize how many of these things we desire are already here, right? The life you're living right now, at one point, this was the dream. Always waiting to get more and more and more. We'll never have it. We have it when we realize we already have it. We have it all when we realize it's already here. You can slow down and remove expectation and attachment. And you can come back into curiosity and excitement. You come into gratitude. The fog clears. Your mind opens. You're anchored down. That place you can start to see clearly again. You don't need people to keep telling you how to do things. Nobody holds a secret answer that you don't. You are your own inner oracle. You know the answers. You just need to get quiet enough to hear them again. Why every single Sunday in the membership community, we start with an hour of stillness to set intentions for the week ahead. Know what to do when you stop getting out of your own way. And you're open to experiencing the vitality of doing it when you stop blocking yourself from that. The other side of this is power. Now try to tell me that it's not safe to be in your power. Now try to tell me that that version of you is an imposter. That version of you is the one that you came here to be. That version of you is the one who's ready to move. But you've got to give her permission. You've got to give her the floor. And guess what? It's so much more fun to do that. Yes, fear is present. It's going to be. A comfort zone means that you're under the illusion that there's no fear. The illusion that there's no fear. The moment you step outside of that, fear is going to be there. Does that mean it's wrong or bad? No. It means you're in the right place. You're outside of the comfort zone. No risk, no magic. But it's not about letting fear keep you small and in the comforts of the ego anymore. It's about reigniting a new relationship with fear, to play with fear for fun on a daily basis. The edge of becoming that place when you're equally so excited and nervous AF. That's the sweet spot. That's the spot of where you know you're supposed to be to make the wild things that you desire to come through. But when you can feel this from this free-flowing place inside of you, then you're actually a match for it in the now. Then you're actually open to receive. Then you're actually in the realm of magic and miracles, because your narrow vision of how you think and when you think it's going to come through evaporates. You're excited and you're curious how it's going to come, because it's not a narrow vision. Any possible way, any invisible bridge, any person you meet, sign you see, opportunity that you go to, ping you get that leads you somewhere, creates a ripple effect. The bridges to what you seek are at your fingertips today, everywhere around you, at the grocery store, at the bank, going for a walk. Here, when you stay open to receive it. And the best way to stay open is to have fun. Be that our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond means. That's the fun of the human experience. And when we release expectation and attachment, you're free to just create and love and be and express from there. That's the heart. That's magnetism. Good I've ever created has come from this place, not a step-by-step process taught by someone who was taught by a step-by-step process. You're not in this for the short game. You're in this for the long haul. And you're not in this to reach a future point on the timeline. You're in this for every step of the way there. Because guess what? At the end of the day, this is it. It's all the human experience. No matter if you're here or when you have X, Y, and Z. This is the point. At the end of it all, when we look back, yeah, it's going to be amazing to look at all the things that manifested and that we compounded and that we allowed ourselves to receive. But at the end of the day, it's one day at a time. Every single day is the point. So get yourself back to a place of alignment. Get yourself back to a place of centering. Get yourself back to a place of knowing it's safe to be in your power. The results aren't going to come at first immediately, but this is how we actually create sustainability on the path to what we're calling in, so that we can actually seek it. Because anything that feels like work, anything that feels heavy, anything that feels like we need to be something because we aren't, that is not sustainable. That's not fun. People don't get up at 5 a.m. to go for a run because it's fun. Telling themselves they had to do that, they wouldn't. It's because they're tapped into their vitality. The wheels are turning. They're excited about life. They're curious how everything's coming through because they know everything's on its way to them. They're excited to wake up and be alive. This is the key. It is safe to be in your power. And it's not only safe to be in your power, it's required of you. And the big pieces that you seek, the big pieces that you want, will only start truly making their way to you when you allow yourself to open and experience yourself and your life through this lens, one day at a time. With your best friends laughing your ass off, are you overthinking? No. So why are you doing it when it comes to what else you're trying to manifest? That's the youest you. We want to create authentic, heart-centered connections and relationships. That's at the core of everything we seek. All the other things are just a byproduct of that. That can only happen when you allow yourself to come from that place. When you allow yourself to live. You're not going to be able to try this on today or tomorrow and hold it. It's a daily, weekly, monthly practice. But as much as you can get deeper and deeper with intentionality around that, the subconscious starts to rewire and you open bit by bit by bit, not because you're becoming something that you aren't, because you're allowing yourself to become who you actually are. It's safe to be in your power and it's required. If you want to do this with us in a group of incredible women, come into the Sanctuary of She community. It starts at just $22 a month, and it is a space for this intentionality, awareness, consistency to rewire the subconscious and open in all the places that you've closed so that you can experience vitality for now and later. And that is how we collapse time. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you soon.